Happy December, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new monthly ranking video here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Ehrenberg. Before I get into my ranking of all the movies that I saw in the month of November here in 2020, we are finally almost done this truly awful year. Before I get started with my ranking of the 8 movies that I saw in the month of November, let me know in the comment section your favorite and least favorite movies ranked of November. Have I missed movies? Have there been movies or shows that you have seen in November that I have not seen? Let me know all your thoughts, rankings, non-spoilery in the comment section down below. Also, if you're new to the channel, thank you. Welcome to the channel. Please hit that like button. That's the best way to support this channel so more people can check out this stuff. Also, please share this video on your social media platforms as well. Also, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. If you're new to the channel, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, and rankings just like today. Now, before I start in, if you are new to the channel, I've already done full, basically 10 to 12 minute non-spoiler review videos of each of these movies in full fashion. So I want you guys to check those out as well. So I'm not going to go as deep into each movie that I'm ranking today. Because I already have these full reviews up on my channel. So I'm going to go a bit brief, like a 2 to 4 minute discussion on each of them, and that's where we'll be. So let's get started right away because this is a long list once again. And coming in easily as the worst movie of the month for me, and number 8 is Super Intelligence, which I was actually really excited for. It's the Melissa McCarthy, Ben Falcone. They're back together, and not obviously they're married in real life, but back together for their 4th time as a director, actor, wife, husband combo. And overall, guys, they were 0 for 3 heading into this movie, and this movie was a huge swing and a miss, 0 for 4 for me. Easily the worst HBO Max original film that we've gotten so far out of the 4. It's only below average one, in my opinion, that we've gone from the streaming service so far. And this combo doesn't work. For some reason, in Ben Falcone movies, Melissa McCarthy isn't as likable or funny. She is really good in the movie, and I love Melissa McCarthy, but some of the jokes don't always hit. Some of the bits that they try to do in the movie go on for way too long, and it makes the movie come down. You kind of get annoyed at a lot of the characters. Brian Tyree Henry is the only character I actually enjoyed watching on screen in the movie. He is the only one who knows that this is a comedic movie. He's really, really funny. He gets a lot of work for a reason because he's such a good actor. And in this role, he steals every scene that he is in. But as a whole, guys, Bobby Cannavale is also in this movie, and it's a really dumb movie about Melissa McCarthy, how this AI super intelligence, who is voiced by James Corden, wants to see if he wants to destroy the world, save the world, and because he needs an average Joe to really look at what is going on in the world, he goes through the lenses of Melissa McCarthy. And there's some messages in here, but some of the characters are very dumb. The first half of the movie feels like it's like a sci-fi type movie, which I was actually kind of into. And then it tries to be a rom-com in the second half of the movie. And instead of actually seeing a romance go on between the characters of Melissa McCarthy and Bobby Cannavale, we're basically just told off screen that they loved each other. So again, this movie I really, really struggled with. When you think about it, I was actually going to give this a 2.5 out of 5 when I first watched it. Then I slept on it. I thought about it. I started talking to people about it. I was like, this is a really dumb movie. So I give it a 1.5 out of 5, guys. It's not one of the worst movies of the year, but for sure, the month of November, it is pretty bad. The other movie that I would say is below average that I saw in the month of November was Hillbilly Elegy, which I am devastated by that this movie could not be an Oscar contender. If you guys don't know, Hillbilly Elegy that last movie was an HBO Max film. This is a Netflix original film directed by Ron Howard, as you can see on screen, starring Amy Adams, Glenn Close, and Haley Bennett. And it's a true story based off a book this is a very recent true events. And you have Ron Howard and maybe Amy Adams and Glenn Close, who all those people winning Academy Awards. Glenn Close inches close to that. And Amy Adams is my favorite actress in Hollywood. I think she's the best, and I was really pumped. There's no question that Glenn Close, who I think is easily the best performance in the movie, does a great job. Amy Adams does a great job in the movie. But for some reason, the way the movie is structured by the writers and the director, Ron Howard himself, it is structured very childish, very poorly, and it's tough to care about any of these characters. As again, this movie is trying to send, while being pretty much depressing for the entire movie, at the end of the movie, it wants to send a message. about staying loyal and faithful to these people who go through these drug addictions, and that there are good people who do go through these drug addictions. And I understand that there needed to be hope in this movie, because this movie needed hope the entire movie, because the whole movie is just drowned in negativity from our main character's point of view. It really boiled down. Again, Amy Adams is fun to see on screen, but also in the movie, our characters with a flip of the switch go into evil mode. Like Amy Adams, one scene is being nice to her son, which you don't really get to see in the movie, and then 2 seconds later, she kind of just flips on him. That happens a lot in the movie, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Didn't seem like that would actually be true. It felt very cartoonish as well when that stuff was going on. But the cast is really good in the movie because the script is certainly not there. I'm not criticizing the book. I'm not criticizing this story itself. It's the way that the movie explained it that was done very poorly. Now, people are smashing this movie. This is a rotten 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is not one of the worst movies of the year. The actors are too good in the movie. It also looks beautiful. The setting that they're in is beautiful, but the script itself and the way that it's structured, because it's just, you're just going back between flashbacks and the present a lot in the movie. And at times, the stuff that they're trying to connect dots to don't really connect. And it's a tough watch when they're doing stuff like that. So guys, Hillbilly Elegy as well. Coming in at number 7 for me. Let's move into now some average movies. We have a couple lined up here. And we're going to kick it off with The Princess Switched. Again, this is the sequel to the 2018 Princess Switch movie, which I did not like as well. Again, average movie I thought it was, but I just didn't enjoy it. And this movie basically is the same thing as the first one, except Vanessa Hudgens plays an additional character here. So her 2 characters from the first one are back in business, and now we have a 3rd character that she plays, who is the cousin of the princess, Margaret, I believe is her name in the movie. And I really, this movie is, again, very, not really, I don't really hate it as much as I thought I would. I do like Vanessa Hudgens. She's really charming in the role. She does a really, really good job playing each of the 3 characters. Even though I completely hated the addition of the cousin character. They play this weird music every time she is on screen, and I pulled me out of the movie for sure. Again, some of the relationships, you're kind of rooting for her to go to the other person in the movie. But the movie has a pretty good ending that really wraps things up really, really well. But again, the movie is, again, it's a forgettable Christmas movie. They've already tried this. I think they're 0 for 2. Both for me are both 2.5s out of 5. Harmless movies that do have some fun in them, but plots that just don't get you interesting, with a lot of dumb characters and again, Vanessa Hudgens, her American character, she does not tell her husband something that she probably should be telling her husband in the movie. And that's why the movie kind of goes into confusion with who knows when the switch is going on. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense why she wouldn't tell her own husband that. Because if she did, this movie wouldn't be obviously happening. But it just, common sense, again, with this movie is also thrown out the window. So again, a Christmas movie that I will never watch again. Both these films, hopefully they don't make a 3rd, but it seems like they're on their path to, because Vanessa Hudgens has a huge, huge deal at Netflix. So that is number 6 on my list for the month. Let's go into our top 5, guys. Another average movie on this list, which is the Christmas Chronicles 2. So I watched the first one again. Both I gave the same grade, just like for Princess Switch and Princess Switch 2. I gave Chronicles 1 and 2. Now, I prefer the Chronicles movies a lot more than Princess Switch. When you think of the plot, it kind of rolls around the same spot. Just like Vanessa Hudgens is great in her own movies, Kurt Russell is even greater in his movies. One of my, if not my favorite Santa Claus that we've gotten on screen. And after we got a hint of Goldie Hawn in the end of the first one, Goldie Hawn is back in full force as Mrs. Claus in the second one. I thought they did a brilliant job with the actual real-life couple of Russell and Hawn, because Goldie Hawn is not just another Mrs. Claus who just sits on the sideline, gets told what to do, and just wonders where is Santa. This movie, she's in the action, and there's even a meta joke about that it should be called Mrs. Claus's workshop because she designed everything, which is a good joke in the movie. The big difference between this one and the first one is that there's a actual villain to the movie played by Julian Dennison, who kidnaps 2 kids in the movie, one who's back from the first one, and one who potentially is her stepbrother, as Tyrese Gibson's in addition to the movie. So Julian Dennison's character, Belschnickel, just did not work for me. I don't think the movie needed a villain. It felt like he was just in there so we can get the kid from the first one back to see Santa. in the villain itself, you're not really rooting for him, even though they try to build out a relationship between Dennison and Russell when Dennison was a elf. But once he turned human, he went bad, and it just didn't really work. And I actually loved the musical piece in here, not as much as the first one, but I thought it was a great little musical piece. And they added a big reveal in an airport scene that I didn't really enjoy. It felt very, very cheesy. And the whole movie's plot itself is pretty dumbed down. I actually like the plot of the first one, how Kurt Russell's Santa is kind of a fish out of water on Earth, but I mean in the United States, but having the kids be a fish out of water on Santa's workshop didn't really feel as inventive as Russell in the first one. So again, I probably prefer the second one. I had a lot more fun with this movie, but the plot itself, I would probably prefer the first one. Heading into our top 4, ladies and gentlemen, we have some really good movies to talk about coming up. First of all, we have Jingle Jangle, which was a movie that I went to a premiere of on Friday release, my first ever movie premiere. I interviewed the producer Mike Jackson already on this channel. You guys can check that one out. A pretty harmless but very fresh Christmas musical. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, starring Forest Whitaker. You see Felicia Rashad, Keegan-Michael Key, and Madeline Mills is the real standout. She is a star. You're going to see her in a lot more movies, not just musicals, but just movies in general. Mills is fantastic in here. Whitaker, by miles, you can tell, is the strongest actor out of everyone in the movie. And I told you in my review already, I think they completely wasted Keegan-Michael Key as the villain of the movie. Also, the movie is basically over 2 hours. This movie had no business being over an hour and a half, an hour 40. The film does drag a lot at times, and the pacing because of 2 hours is there. But it's a really fun musical where you're rooting for Madeline Mills and Forest Whitaker's character to win at the end of the day. And some great music. I've been listening to some of the music since I saw that movie a couple weeks ago. So it's a really fun movie. I think I've seen it twice now. I really did enjoy it. But there's a lot of issues that made it a great movie, but it's a really solid movie that a lot of Christmas movie with a full African-American cast, a thing that you don't really see much in Hollywood these days. And it's cool to see that on stage, on there now. Let's also move in. I have a tie here, these two movies. So I'm gonna have a tie here for a third, basically. And that's where I'm gonna talk about the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. Yes, I really enjoyed the Star Wars Holiday Special on Disney Plus. It's only 45 minutes long, but it does a great job of taking you back to all the movies that we all love in Star Wars, all the episodic films. We get a Mandalorian also cameo in here, but it's also a solid enough story with really good comedy that's used for both adults and diehard Star Wars fans. Obviously, there's a lot of child jokes that I don't really like in this movie, and that's why it's not a great special. But it's a good special because there's a lot of Star Wars jokes that only real Star Wars fans like me know. And it's great to see that in this film, Rey using that stone to go back to the past was a really great idea. Again, every time we went back to Finn, Poe, and Rose and Chewbacca trying to create this party, it felt really like a childish movie. But then you get Rey doing her fun stuff with Kylo Ren and Palpatine and Vader and Luke, and that's a fun little bit. So again, it's a little bit inconsistent. It's only 45 minutes long. It's an easy breezy 45 minutes. And I'm sure a lot of you families are going to be watching this on Christmas Day. It's a really fun Disney Plus movie. Star Wars, you're getting Mandalorian again this. So got to enjoy what you got in Star Wars. Now, these two movies that I'm about to talk about are both in my top 10 of the year. A really good month for me. I saw these movies on back-to-back nights, and I really love both these movies. Let's first talk about Uncle Frank, which comes in at number 2. Paul Bettany and Sophia Lillis are two main stars. There's also Judy Greer in here. There's also Steve Zahn in here. There's a really good cast in here as a whole, and I really love this movie. I knew nothing about it. This movie is an Amazon Prime original movie, and I knew nothing about the movie. Never saw a trailer, just saw the poster basically of these three characters, and I would love to see these three characters in another movie again. But obviously this is a serious movie, so probably won't see that. But these three characters were on the same page throughout the entire film. Wally, Frank, Beth, just great characters. Bettany delivers a outstanding performance that I think is not getting talked about enough. Easily one of my favorite performances of the year by a male actor. Hopefully he gets some consideration, but I don't think enough people are checking out this movie very silently. So definitely check out Uncle Frank. Sophia Lillis provides also her best performance of her career in this film. I've seen her in It, seen her in Sharp Objects. She's brilliant in this movie. And the main reason why you're here is the three characters. Wally being Bettany's lover, who Benny hasn't revealed to his family that he's gay, and all of that turmoil. And when you learn backstory about Frank, who is played by Bettany's backstory about what happened when he was in his first ever relationship, how bad that really went, and how that's really made him emotional, have PTSD the rest of his life. But you also feel like Bettany and Lilith are really an uncle and a niece relationship. It's very brilliantly done. And you get why Lilith's idol is Frank. And you really feel that throughout the movie. I did not know how emotionally invested I would be until those last 15, 20 minutes, which are very, very powerful scenes, very well acted by Bettany, and a real sleeper hit for me, guys. One of the most, in my opinion, the most underrated movie that has come out so far in 2020. Please check out Uncle Frank on Prime. This movie needs a lot more recognition than given. This is my number 9 movie of the year, number 2 in the month of November, and one slot ahead of it in both November and overall. My number 8 movie of the year and number 1 in November is Happiest Season, which is the Hulu original film that I also didn't see the trailer for, but just saw this picture here. Kristen Stewart, Mackenzie Davis, Aubrey Plaza, Dan Levy, Allison Brie, the co-writer herself, Mary Holland, Victor Garber, just a fantastic cast here. And this movie also tells the story that 2 LGBTQ movies of the month are both here. I'm not gay, I'm straight, and that's amazing to see this representation in really a holiday movie like this. Stewart delivers, in my opinion, her best performance. Really hated Kristen Stewart from the Twilight movies and Snow White and the Huntsman. That's the only thing I've seen of hers. And then this movie is a brilliant performance. She's easily the best performance in the entire film. She's really, really good, and you're always rooting for her character the most to succeed and get what she wants in this Christmas. And sometimes Mackenzie Davis is a character you're not rooting for, which is a slight issue with the movie. There's a big controversy on Twitter if Kristen Stewart should have chosen Mackenzie Davis. I'm not getting into spoilers here, but you'll see when you watch the movie if you believe in that as well. But they have great chemistry. Mary Holland, who is the co-writer, she steals the entire film, as well as Dan Levy. I also thought Allison Brie, as always, is so terrific to watch. She plays a pretty mean sister to Mackenzie Davis, and their sibling rivalry is great. And Aubrey Plaza is a character who is not getting talked about enough. When she was with Kristen Stewart, the movie, her energy was really great added to the movie. She's an ex-girlfriend to Mackenzie Davis. And we learn about the backstory between those two and added into an Aubrey Plaza Stewart relationship. It's done so, so well. And the movie is funny, it's charming, but it can also be serious and give really good messages about how everyone who comes out that they're gay has a completely different story. Sometimes Kristen Stewart's character explains that she had a pretty easy one. She just told her parents, and her parents were cool with it. But for a lot of other people, it's not that easy to come out to their families. And this movie has a great message about being true to yourself. And if people don't understand that, that's okay. You got to stay true to yourself. And movie, a very powerful last 10 minutes, but it's also extremely funny, especially with Dan Levy and Mary Holland's characters stealing scenes with their comedic geniuses. So overall, guys, this was a really good month for me, guys. As you can tell, I really loved Uncle Frank and Happiest Season, both Hulu and Prime original movies. So please check these one out as well. Thank you guys for watching my November ranking. Once again, guys, all of these movies are full reviewed by me on this YouTube channel already. So please check out those reviews. Also, please hit that like button, subscribe, share, comment. More reviews down the line. Mank comes out on Friday. Godmothered comes out on Friday. The Mandalorian episode comes out on Friday. And Big Mouth Season 4 all comes out on Friday. So big weekend coming up with some big reviews here on my channel. So please ring that bell so you know when all those videos drop. Thank you guys so much. Leave your rankings in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.